Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Dixon Kodiak. Deck's not here, it's like a big 72 inch. The story behind this thing here is when I used to sell Dixons right before Husqvarna bought them out, they bought this from me brand new and they're using it for a couple, 2, 3 years, and Husqvarna totally quit making them and stuff, and they really screwed up the deck somehow. I don't know, but anyways, they found a blacksmith this spring that will fix it, and he's getting it fixed. So they wanted to get the rest more running. They put a new battery in there, and nothing happened. So they took the starter out of it. They took the key switch out of it. You know, give them points for trying, but they brought it here because they want to get it so it starts and runs. So when the deck's done, they can go mowing again and stuff. So I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, it's got done hooking up the starter. And I'm going to put the key switch back in, and I'm going to check the battery, make sure there's 12 volts. 12 volts in the battery. Then we'll just start going through everything. There's one thing I'm going to change on this, on the ground. They have a ground from battery to the frame, but I always like anything with a PTO switch, electric PTO and stuff. I'm going to run another ground wire and right to the motor, because sometimes where the motor bolts go through the frame and get corroded and stuff. So we have a good ground to the motor. So I'm gonna do that too. Well, they unhooked everything. I think they'd have about 5 inches more of this wire. Everything here. Okay, let's check the battery. They said they put a new battery in there. Well, the battery's good. I'll get my testing light. On these starters, on these motors, the solenoids on the side of the starter. I just pop the wire off to the solenoid that's on the starter. That's this wire right here. Okay, I'm going to turn the key on. And nothing. Let's make sure the brake is on and both handles out. Because everything was working properly, this would light up. There should always be power to the starter here. Nada. So we gotta make sure there's power going to the key switch. Then we'll follow the wire from the key switch that goes through all the safety switches and find out where our problem is. But I'm gonna put another ground wire from the battery and probably one of the starter bolts. I'll probably hook up to one of the starter bolts. So I'll do that real quick. Then we'll come back and start testing the wires. Okay, put a wire right here. And I put in the bolt on the starter, so you know the motor has a good ground. This motor has that shock anti-vibration rubber donuts on the 4 bolts to hold it down, and sometimes get a little corroded and it won't have a good ground. So I got that done. Now let's check and see if we have power at the key switch. I think we do, because the headlight comes on. But you turn over the key and nothing. The PTO switch works. So it has to be the wire that goes to the solenoid. When you turn this all the way on, the solenoid wire kicks in. It runs through that off this arm, the arm on the other side, the brake switch. So we have to follow that wire and make sure at each connection we turn the key and power will go through it. Takes a little time, but it's not hard work. I gotta charge my light up. My light's dead. Okay, now we got clicking up There's 3 relays over here. There's a one for the start relay, the brake relay, and the run relay. That's clicking now. It never clicked before. It's almost like we got a loose wire somewhere or a corroded wire somewhere. I need to charge up my light, and we'll come back and just start going through all the wires. Okay, I found the problem. What I didn't tape it because my hands would be in the way. But you gotta make sure there's power going to your key switch, and you just follow it because the hot wire that goes from the key switch goes to both of these handles, one here and one there, and the brake switch. And on these switches, there's a negative side and a positive side. Well, the positive side on this switch here came off the left handle here. Had 12 volts going into it, but only like 6 volts coming out. So there must be a bunch of corrosion and stuff in here. So I put a new switch on, and it has 12 volts going into it and 12 volts going out of it. But it's real simple on this wiring. You have to have power going to the switch. And when you turn the key on to start it, the solenoid wire goes through both handles. That goes to the brakes before it gets to the solenoid. Because everything has to be. They don't want you starting this thing up if you're underneath of it, I guess. It's safety stuff. Handles have to be out. The brake has to be on before it even attempts to start. But I did one like a month ago. Electric, it wasn't a Dixon. I don't think it was a Dixon. But there was 12 volts going into it. And only like 6 or 8 coming out. And that's why that relay was going off, because it was only getting 6 volts to it. So now it works. But the next thing is I might have to clean the carburetor. I don't know. Like I said, this thing sat for a long, long time. They broke the deck a couple years after they bought it, and you couldn't find the parts. It might work itself out of it. It's running better now. But anyways, that's how you do the wiring, aren't it? I'm gonna drive it around for a little bit, see how it works. I drove it around for a while, and the carburetor worked itself out of it. It runs good now. But anyways, if you have wiring problems like that, if you have 12 volts going into a switch, you have to have 12 volts coming out, or you have to have volts coming out altogether. Sometimes them switches get bad, and that's some of the switches that sit up, so the plunger's up, so rain or stuff gets in there and stuff, and eventually it corrodes stuff up. But anyways, hope this helps you out. Appreciate you watching. If you like my videos, please press the like button. Please subscribe. You guys have a good afternoon.